Okay. Well, hi everybody. We've gone live. It's me, David. I can't hear anything. Things look a lot different. This is it's crazy town today. Welcome to episode number 17 of Bourbon Zeppelins. Today I'm your only host. It's just me, David Hughes. Jeremy has flown the coop. He has a flight early tomorrow, so he couldn't be here tonight. So it's just me. I decided to carry on without him just to see how this works with just one person. So if you've ever wanted to chime in and tell me and comment on the show, now is the perfect time to do that. Sorry, I just have to clear some stuff out here. All right, so I'm not filming this the way I normally do. Normally this runs through my laptop. So I have a bit of a different look today because I had to sort of cobble something together real quick. Secondly, I don't have the same microphone Jeremy has, which is a nice USB plug-in mic. I do have a lot of really nice audio equipment behind me. No, you can't really see, but up on that red shelf right there, I have a mixing board, and I've got a whole bunch of microphones kicking around. But you know what I can't find is the power adapter for that mixing board, which is really frustrating because I was going to have a really nice audio setup. I wasn't going to have to wear these headphones. Like, I literally can't hear anything right now. They're very, they really seal the ears in. They're really good for video gaming, but I don't have any audio at all because if I monitor my voice, there's enough of a delay, enough of a lag where it just drives me crazy and it really distracts me. Anyways, that's why things look the way they look right now. That's why I'm in my office in my house and not in front of a white wall in Jeremy's actual office. Yeah, so it's been a week since the last time I saw you. I don't really know what to tell you what's new with me. Not a whole lot. I'm still doing boxing classes twice a week. I did a class last night, and man, I really thought I was going to throw up at the end of that class. There's for those of you who don't know, boxers really train their core a lot. It takes a lot of core strength to punch well and to have that stamina. And so they every class you have, you do about 20 minutes of core exercises at the end. And I've done them before and been okay. And last night, I don't know what happened, but the last 2 rounds of core exercises was me sort of going through the motions and just hoping that I wasn't going to throw up, as I was pretty sure. Like, I really felt like I was going to throw up. If anyone's watching this right now, just let me know if there's any problems with the sound. Like I say, I'm not monitoring myself, so I don't know if I'm getting really peaky or staticky or anything. I tested it earlier with this same setup, but I might be talking louder or whatever. Anywho, I didn't throw up. That's really the takeaway. I don't know why I interrupted myself to not clear up the fact that I didn't throw up. There's a lot of negatives in there. I think I said that right. At any rate, that's pretty much all that's new with me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I did that was of note. I haven't really done anything of note this week. It's sort of boring at work. Yeah, that's about it. Anyway, on with the show, I guess. We've got a lot of things to talk about. The Olympics are happening still. That's really important to some people, not me so much. I kind of don't really get the Olympics. I don't get the appeal of it. There's a... oh, someone's commenting. Things are happening. And they're popping up weird. Stuff it. Oh, see, I'm not usually in charge of the... oh, God. Why is this open? Close this. Ah, there we go. Okay. Okay, this whole weird Facebook commenting system is sort of broken. Not gonna lie. All right, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Olympics. I don't really get the appeal of the Olympics as much as a lot of people do. It's kind of just sports no one really cares about every 4 years, and then we pretend to get excited about it because it turns out our country is good at some of this stuff, and then we're going to promptly forget about it come March until 2022. That's just the reality of it. The cool thing, of course, I think I mentioned it last week on the show, that Mr. T is really into curling, so that's cool. Curling is kind of the only sport that I really care about in the Winter Olympics, for me personally. And it's been a little bit frustrating. I mean, we did win the gold in mixed doubles right away, which was really cool. And then just yesterday, Rachel Holman, she's missed the playoffs. I think that's the first time in the history of women's curling in the Olympics that Canada hasn't made it at least to the playoffs. I believe we've medaled in all of them. We've definitely medaled. I'm pretty sure we've medaled in all of them. The men, though, are doing okay. They had a bit of a rocky start, but they're in the Final Four, so that bodes well for at least medaling there. They were second after the round robin. And that's kind of all I really have to say about the Olympics. Everyone wants to talk about Tessa and Scott and ice dancing. I don't, whatever. I get people like it. Not my thing. I'm not going to, whatever. The story to talk about, though, is doping. In the Olympics, it's always about doping. And there was a really a really funny thing that happened this year with the Russian, well, I guess not the Russian, the Olympic athlete from Russia, which is a whole other thing. Maybe I'll talk about that for a bit too. But one of the bronze medal team was in mixed doubles curling, was the Olympic athletes from Russia, and one of them popped positive for steroids. Now, a lot of people don't get it. I kind of don't get it. I've curled. I sort of don't get it. But, why would you take steroids for curling? Even other curlers in the Olympics don't really get it. I'm assuming that it was just like for recovery. If you've ever played, if you've ever curled, if you've been in the front end, you're a lead or a second, you sweep a lot. Those guys sweep a ton, and you want to be able to recover quickly from that. So, I mean, I guess I can see the point of doping if you're a curler, but I can also, I also understand everyone else's argument. That's like, it's really dumb. And it is kind of stupid. Like, I would think that if you are an Olympic athlete from Russia, and you're there under that banner because Russia as a country got banned from the Olympics because of a doping scandal, the last thing you would want to do is get busted for doping. The easiest way to avoid that is just to not dope. But he is the guy, Alexander Krushelnitsky. He is doing the classic, I'm going to call it Canadian defense for doping. I'm just going to drop a comment in here, I think. Oh, no. Oh, God. I hope I didn't just break everything. Oh, God. What did I do? Okay. Sorry, I've got way too much going on right now. Anyways, so he's using the classic Ben Johnson defense of, I didn't know I was being doped. He believes that he got spiked. I'm willing to not believe him because I don't believe anyone who says they got spiked. I mean, athletes, they're supposed to know. Ultimately, they're responsible for what goes in their bodies. And if you are a high-level athlete, you should definitely know everything that's going into your body. Now, arguably, this curler isn't really a high-level athlete and maybe isn't keeping track of the things that he's putting in his body as much as he should be. But, still kind of on him. But the best thing about it is that he's actually, well, not him, but the ministry, the Russian Ministry of Athletics, or whatever the guy's name is, or his title, they're actually blaming this on the United States security people that were there. So they're blaming the states for doping this Russian curler uh, as like in order to discredit Russians, which I don't know who they're trying to convince. Most Americans believe that they don't trust Russians anyway. I mean, I'm aware of the giant doping scandal that they had in Russia, so I'm not even remotely, like I don't think any of these athletes should be in these Olympics anyway. I don't trust them as clean athletes. So I'm not really shocked if one of them pops for doping, beyond the fact that why would you do that if you're supposed to be one of the clean ones when your whole country got banned for being a bunch of dopers? It makes zero sense to me. Now, if I can figure out how to make things work here, I can maybe do that. There we go. So there's a link to an article about the Russian curling doping and who they're blaming and why. There's a long history of people blaming third parties for, slipping them some steroids. I don't think it's ever been a valid defense. I don't think it's ever been accepted as a valid defense. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I assume this guy was actually just doping. So to take it to on like a broader conversation about steroids in athletics, a lot of people get really up in arms about it. They get really bent out of shape that there's these top level athletes who are trying to be faster and stronger than people were in the past, and then they seem to get all bent out of shape if they take steroids in order to accomplish that. Steroids don't really bother me, and I sort of had this conversation with some friends over the weekend, but I've sort of held this stance for a while, is just make them legal. I started thinking about this a long time ago, sort of back when the whole Lance Armstrong thing happened. And, he'd won whatever it was, 6 or 7 Tour de France's at the time. And he got popped for blood doping, and everyone was all up in arms about it. So there's a whole big discussion about it. I maintain that if cyclists or top-level athletes want to dope, let's give them a place where they can dope. Or, just sort of don't ban it, and just it's an understanding that if you're going to be a high-level athlete, the expectation is that you're going to be enhancing somehow. Now, obviously, there's dangers associated with steroid use. Like, absolutely there is, especially if you're doing, if everyone's... Because the problem, it doesn't really solve the problem of people trying new and crazy things. It's just, now at least maybe what new and crazy things people are doing. And if it's a little bit more transparent, maybe it can be made safer, but there's no guarantee of that. Of course, for people who don't like doping, you could sort of maybe have 2 different leagues, or however you want to frame it, where you have like powerlifting does this, where they have tested federations and untested federations. So you have a place where athletes can go where there's just no drug testing. It's the Wild West, do whatever you want. And then you have places for athletes to go where there is testing, and the expectation is that people won't be doing steroids there. Now, naturally, you're going to have people who still do steroids in the tested league, but the idea is that it should maybe self-select some of the people who are just there to go faster or be stronger, and just let them, do the steroids without the stigma that's currently attached to it. So, if you guys have any ideas or thoughts about that, feel free to type them in the comment section. I think the comments are updating. I have no idea, to be totally honest with you. I don't normally do the comments, so I don't know what it's supposed to look like on this page. Normally, Jeremy's the guy reading the comments, and I've got about 100 things going on right now. And I forgot to do... whatever. I forgot to change my caption down at the bottom. Where? There. But I can do that for this next one. So the next story I want to talk about is the Twitter lockout. So if you haven't heard about the Twitter lockout, Twitter has sort of been cleaning up its bot problem lately. I'm sure many of you have heard the news that Russian bots have been spreading propaganda across a whole bunch of different social media platforms. Back in December, Facebook had identified a whole bunch of different pages that appeared to be run by either Russian bots or just Russians in general. There's the Internet Research Agency based out of Russia that was identified as having created a whole bunch of propaganda that was spread around before, during, and after the American election. A lot of stuff that was created just in order to sway voters, generally speaking, to the right. And I pointed to the left when I did that, to the right. A lot of people are sort of in denial about the whole thing, but today, or yesterday, I think it was today, Twitter decided they were going to purge a bunch of Twitter accounts that they had identified as being Russian bots. Now, what happened here? This all sounds good on the surface, like we don't need people, poisoning the well of ideas, and that's exactly what these Russian propaganda bots do. And so they banned a whole bunch of them, and there was a lot of real people who got swept up in the ban. And those people, sorry, I gotta copy things and paste things. Those people tended to be mostly conservative. Like, no question about it. A lot of conservatives got swept up in that, and they were sort of taking it as though it was a conspiracy against conservatives. Now, the reality is that the way that they were identified is, some engineer at Twitter wrote some AI who could analyze tweets and go, okay, these are things that are these are Russian bots that we've identified. Let's see who else is tweeting in a similar fashion. Now that could be, I don't know exactly what the algorithm is, but it would be along the lines of, are they tweeting links to the same stories? Are they using the same language? Are they posting with a similar frequency? There's a whole bunch of different things that you could look at to see if, someone's a bot or not. Now, AI is, it's usually pretty good, but depending on how the algorithm worked and, on how people are tweeting, you're going to see people get picked up in this, like real people get picked up in this. Now, they aren't banned forever. It just says if you think it's been a mistake, just verify your phone number, which is how Twitter verifies that you're a real person, because generally speaking, bots don't have phone numbers. I guess they could, but generally they don't. Because they're going to text your phone, and then you're going to reply to that, and that's how you're going to be verified as being a real human being on Twitter. Now, some of the more alt-right conservatives have been taking this to an extreme, as they are prone to do, where they are saying that it was, one, that Twitter is censoring conservatives and conservative messaging, that they are being targeted. So they kind of are, only in the sense that these Russian propaganda bots were also pushing an alt-right agenda. But bots aren't real people, so they don't actually have freedom of speech. Pardon me. And so it's not really a big deal there. And then the other part of the conspiracy is that they're saying that Twitter, for whatever reason, just wants to collect the phone numbers of all the conservative tweeters on Twitter, which is, sort of patently absurd. It's just complete and utter nonsense. 1 second, guys. I just got to view. Alrighty. So if you have anything you want to say about that, feel free. Russian bots have been obviously a big thing. They run smear campaigns. And if you don't know anything about the Internet Research Agency that I mentioned before, if you Google it, there was a news story on NBC a little while ago where there was a guy that worked there who sort of explained how everything worked. It was like a 4-story building. One floor was just for people rewriting old articles into newer articles and just changing a little bit of details and adding some messaging. They had like a whole floor that was dedicated just to photoshopping weird images or provocative images like Hillary Clinton shaking hands with the devil. It's really interesting, and I would. If I had been more prepared and smarter and knew that I was going to bring them up, I would have actually found that link and posted it in the comments. I may still do that when I get bored listening to myself talk. This is really weird not having someone to pick up half of the conversation, not going to lie. Related to the Twitter lockout and bots. Now, if you've watched the show in the past, and like maybe 10, 12 episodes, we used to have a regular weekly feature called This Week in Gun Violence. And we stopped doing that in the new year because, frankly, it was depressing that we could easily find a story about gun violence every single week. So we just stopped doing it because we didn't want to deal with it anymore. And then last week, there was a shooting in Florida, in Parkland, at a high school down there, and 17 kids lost their lives, and it's tragic. We don't really want to, we don't really want to talk about gun control or gun violence anymore. We feel as though, we've said all there is to say about it. But related to the Russian bots have also popped up in regards to the Parkland shooting. And I will just paste that into the comments. And I'll do this. Just want to switch how things look a little bit right now. So the Russian bots have started a smear campaign against the students. Pardon me. Against the students of that school, the survivors who are speaking out about, the ones who are speaking out about gun violence. I will say one thing I actually want to say before I get into this is I am really happy that these kids are as angry as they are and that they're being as vocal as they are. It's really neat to see that a generation that grew up sort of understanding how to make online communities now have something that they that they have a message that they really want to spread, and it's going to be, I think, really powerful, and it's going to be really widespread, and you might actually start to see some change in terms of attitudes towards guns in the States. I won't hold my breath on that because their attitudes are sort of baked into the culture down there, and even if they were to say the reality is they aren't going to get those guns back. So like whatever guns are out there, I think are just out there. But anyways, I'm glad that they are taking a stand and that they are rightfully angry about it. Anyways. Russian bots have jumped onto this story and they have started spreading disinformation. They've started smear campaigns against the kids, against the survivors, the ones that are speaking out. It's pretty crazy, some of the things that they're saying. One of the more popular ones that so one of the more popular ones that people are talking about is this kid here. His dad is in the FBI. So the alt-right conspiracy machine has decided that this kid is a shill for the FBI. The bots and the people who believe the bots and are influenced by the bots also believe that these kids are crisis actors. If you've never heard the term crisis actor before, there is a group of people who believe, especially at shootings. This was a really popular conspiracy theory around Sandy Hook. The people who are grieving are not real people. They are actors who are hired to show up and make things, like their theory is that the shooting never happened, that there was no shooting, and that everyone you see on TV has been hired by the government in order, hired by the government to go on TV and talk about how awful guns are in order to push an anti-gun agenda so that the government can turn around and take your guns away. Now, that makes a whole lot less sense when your government is pro-gun, like it currently is in the States. But you gotta maintain that narrative, right? So if bad things are happening with guns, it can't be real. It has to be a left-wing conspiracy in order to drive sympathy towards people who don't like guns and taking guns away from people. So this is one of the photos that would probably have been photoshopped in the Internet Research Agency. Just, a kid with exposed across his forehead. Another one that they have is this picture. So these kids were on the, what is it, the morning show? I don't even know what the name of the show. Yeah, CBS's morning show. So this is just them backstage. A lot of people are describing this as, kids, laughing and partying like rock stars in the aftermath of all of their classmates being killed. The Donald, which is a very famous alt-right subreddit on Reddit, which I never go into because it's mostly Russian bots, but they're just full of nonsense. They like to play at the fact that they think these kids are just trying to get famous and piggybacking off of this tragedy. And I think it says a lot, if I assume that this... Okay, so whether this sentiment was created by a bot or not is sort of neither here nor there. There are real people who read something like that and believe it. And they think that this is something that people would do. And I think that says a lot about the people who believe it. Like, I look at that and I go, okay, I can, there are situations where someone might try to get famous off of a tragedy. Obviously, we've seen it in the past. But in order for me to think that, an entire class of kids is going to try to become famous based on, or, become famous after 17 of their friends get murdered. I think that idea is appalling to the point where it is unbelievable and inconceivable. And I sort of have this theory that these people who do believe it, who do buy it and push this as the narrative, are maybe projecting a little bit. Like, they're so weak-willed that they're so desperate for fame that maybe they think, this is the kind of thing I would do. I would pretend to care about my friends so I can get on TV and become famous. But I don't know that that's what's happening, obviously. But I see this a lot where it's always like a crazy theory where, either people throw their morals away for money. You see this in like the big pharma conspiracy theories where people are holding back the cure for cancer because, they get paid a whole bunch of money by the higher ups of some pharmaceutical company, right? Or in this case, people are going to throw away, who they are, both ethically and morally, just in order to get 15 minutes of fame, which is, and I think that's just because the people who want to believe that, they go, I have a price. I would do things for money. I would throw my ethics away for money. I would throw my ethics away for fame. it is, it's a little bit frustrating, and I try to, I try to remain optimistic. I try to stay positive about it, but I've seen, I've been on the internet too much and seen too many jerks. So I would believe something like that. Hi, Pam. Pam finally made it. It's okay that you're late. You haven't missed much. I've been talking a mile a minute, it feels like. You missed some stuff about steroids at the Olympics and some stuff about Russian bots, and it's probably just rambling nonsense. I have no idea. I'm running everything today because Jeremy's not here, and I'm a little bit scatterbrained. You don't see anything on the screen, Pam? That's no good. I see stuff on the screen. I swear I do. I think you're the only person who's watching. I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people joined, but it looks like I only actually have 1 viewer. Maybe it's me. Do you say anything now? Can you hear me? Oh, we got 2 viewers now. Sorry if anyone was watching this and I've ground to a halt. I may be having technical difficulties, but I'm not sure. Ah, good. Oop, didn't mean it. Okay. What was I talking about? I don't even know. Awful people on the internet who would throw their morals away. This is conspiracy theorists in general, I feel, tend to project a lot. So that's probably what it is. They themselves would be willing to, be a jerk for money or for fame. And so they naturally believe that other people would be. Cool. Thanks, Pam. All right. So what do I have next on my agenda? Anything? Oh, that was pretty much it. I feel like one other thing I wanted to show you. I found an interesting picture that someone took. This is a picture of notes that Donald Trump has. As he was going to meet the victims of the Parkland shooting. And so these are the notes that he had. These are things that he needed to be reminded of while talking to these kids. So the first one on there says, what would you most want me to know about your experience? So this is like, basic empathy 101. If someone comes to you and they're involved in a tragedy somehow, that's kind of like the basic thing, like, what would you like to tell me? What do you want me to know? It's weird that you would even need a prompt for that. The second one appears to be, what can we do to help you feel safe? Which is a really silly and open-ended question, I think. It's good to ask, but I think we all know the answer, especially if you've been watching the news. And I know Donald Trump watches, Fox, so they do have news from time to time. And they probably would have, I don't watch Fox, I don't know. I'm assuming they're playing the same stuff that other people are, at least where these kids are concerned, and and their message that they want gun control, and that's what's going to help make them feel safe. But the most interesting one is point number 5 down here, where it says, I hear you. Whoops. Man, I keep clicking on stuff on my one screen and it refreshes things inappropriately. Sorry. Anyways, so it says, I hear you. Like, why does he need to be reminded to tell a bunch of kids and their parents that, yeah, I hear you. I hear the words that you're saying. Like, there's a complete and utter disconnect from reality and empathy where Donald Trump is concerned. And if you ever needed evidence of it, it's right here to be reminded that to say basic things like, I hear you. Pam, you missed it earlier. No more guns. I think I'd said earlier that I think we might see a little bit of a change here because these kids are really media savvy. They're really, they've grown up on the internet, building communities online, and so now that they have a message to sort of to get behind and really push out there, they're going to know how to do that really well. And it, the story is fresh enough in people's minds where it's it's a real issue. This is the largest reaction to something like this that I've seen in a really long time. Like there was a lot of outrage with Sandy Hook, and then there's been so many shootings that you just sort of everyone just sort of gets tired of it and they stop paying attention. And this sort of pushed everything back into the forefront. And these kids seem really passionate and they really care about trying to convince people that gun control is a good thing. So we may see a change. Again, I'm not necessarily holding my breath. The guns that are out there are going to remain out there in the States, I think. I can't see people giving them back. But, who knows? It could happen. One thing that's interesting is I know these kids are also looking to do a walkout. I'll drop this here. They're also looking to walk out of school, I think, starting on April 20th, which is maybe not the best date for them to pick. But they were going to leave school on April 20th and not come back until gun reform was a thing. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But as you can see on the screen now, the Levi County School District has said that they will expel kids if they walk out and miss class because of this, which is, kind of a shame. I don't know how I really feel about it. Like, education is important. But this sends a big message saying, as important as our education is, as important as our future is, we prefer to see a future with less gun violence. And we think the way to solve that problem, the way to address, or the way to diminish the amount of gun violence we have in this country is to, put it all on the line. And, I can really respect people that want to, put their money where their mouth is, as it were. So, good for them, I think. Oh, God, I'm going to click on something, and it's all going to go sideways. Oh, maybe not. I can't tell if these are new or old things I'm getting. Well, let's just refresh this page and hope for the best. Yeah, right? Like 420 is maybe not the best time for them. Maybe not the best day for them to do it. Maybe wait till like the day after, because I guarantee you that the people who want to discredit these kids are really going to point to that date. And they're just going to say that these kids are lazy and they want to go smoke pot and they're just not going to come back to school, and that they're just using the death of their friends as an excuse to get out of going to school or some garbage like that, almost guaranteed. Anywho, that's what I have to say about that. And without Jeremy here to temper my opinion on this stuff, I'm going to try to sort of moderate myself here. But yeah, I hope they reconsider April 20th and pick a different day, just so it's not as easy to discredit them. So it is time for everybody's favorite part of the show. Oh, I didn't even check to see if that text was going to fit on the bottom of the screen. It is time for the Kickstarter Crystal Ball. Huzzah! So, whoops, not what I wanted to do. I think I have a whole bunch of stuff on here that's already done still. 1 second. Let's see what I can take off my list. Oh man, a whole bunch of these can go. We don't have to talk about Type 1 riders anymore, Pam. You can be happy about that. That's done. That's done. That's done. Oh, that one's not done. All right. Oh, wait. Is 2 buckets done? Sure ain't. All right, cool. So let's start with 2 buckets for our recap. And there we go. All right, so 2 buckets had been. This is the. Oh, you like my new font? Yeah, I had to. I had to sort of cobble everything together today before the show. So I just had to. I have more fonts on this computer than the one that we normally are on, so I could use this one. And that should be way on top. Okay. So, sorry, what was I talking about? 2 Buckets is the mobile app for volunteers. This, God, I need a third monitor. I always complain about needing 2 monitors on the other when I'm using my laptop. I need 3 monitors for this, honestly, to make this work. So, they're asking for 50,000 American dollars. Last time I checked in, they were at 17,641 American bucks. They made an extra $200 in the last week. 17,841. Jeremy and I are both yeses across the board for this. Ematimi, this is that stupid ad thing. Thankfully, they've still made no money. That's the only reason it's on here, on my list still, is to ensure that nobody is kickstarting it. The luxury loafers, that we thought these guys were going to get this money because they weren't asking for a ton. They were asking for 5,000 Australian dollars. They made 811. They did not make it. So, who among us said they were going to make it? I have everything in the wrong order. Oh, this was not kickstarted last week. Oh, no. We assumed it wasn't going to be kickstarted last week because they only had a day to go. All right. After that, we've got the Contact app, which is, oh my God, someone pledged on this? Why? This was at 0 last week. Someone convinced his mom, someone who doesn't understand phones, to pledge $91. Well, 0 seconds to go. They did not get funded. Well, I'm surprised they got over 0. Jeremy and I were all no's across the board there. So that's a tie. Next we have... Hey! Jeremy's in the chat. Hey, Jeremy. You joined us just in time for the Kickstarter Crystal Ball. I am ripping through the show today without you slowing me down. Also, I have no one to talk to. Okay, so cartoon pilot episode. They are asking for, $15,400, which was the wrong amount of money. They were at $10 last week. They are at $15 this week. They made an extra $5. So, good news, Jeremy. We both said that these guys weren't going to make it. They still have 33 hours to go. It's pretty safe to say they aren't going to get kickstarted, I think. I'm going to put it in the spreadsheet. That's how confident I am that they aren't going to make an additional $15,300 and some dollars in the next 33 hours. Yeah, right? Like, I don't know who gave them $5. Someone's girlfriend. Well, I don't believe anyone has a girlfriend who's involved with this. The Keep It Band is next. Ooh, 16 days to go. This is that thing that is a improved upon bungee cord. Last week they were at 635 American dollars. They are now at 725. Whoops. Ooh, man, I need to add a... I noticed today that I really screwed up this spreadsheet, so all the data that I've recorded so far is broken. Well, they improved upon it by making a new little hooky thing. Right? Like they made... It's still, I guess, just a band, like a bungee cord, but it does have this little metal hooky dealy. You know which one I mean. That thing. Improved. City Game. Is that still on my list? It is. They were funded last week. Have they made more money? 53.13. Yeah, they're up. So they're still making money. And they have 29 hours to go. The leg desk. It's your favorite, Jeremy. 37 hours to go. They've made $100 American, which is 50 more bucks than they had last week. You don't hate it. You want it real bad for when you're flying. Bar tabs. Oh yeah, bartender or whatever. How can I lie to my friends and get away with it? I need an app for that. Oh, they made $10, which is I think what they had last week. I don't even remember. That is less money. How's that possible? I have it on here. I have it on here that they had $36 last week, and they're down to $10 this week. I wonder if I typed that wrong. Huh. I don't know how that happened. Like, it's very possible that I typed it wrong, but 36 is an oddly specific number for me to type. I like to think that I like to think that someone just changed their mind. I don't know if you can. I've never tried unkickstarting something. So here's the $500,000 website. Still at $0. No real surprise there. Sons of Ammo, the bullet jewelry. They were at... What were they at last week? 0. Oh, so they made some bucks. They made 50. 50 US dollars. Okay. The alternative bridge thing. 22 days to go. They are up to 3348 from 1052. That's good for them. 3348. What do we got next? Voltbot. Oh yeah, the weird chargy thing that we were kind of on the fence about. What did I say? Oh yeah, I took the flyer on this one. Oh, thanks, Kim. So this is the one where I said it would get funded, and we're doing okay. It's up to $34,399, and it was at $5,940 last week. Hi, Wendy. There's people actually joining tonight. I think that's what happens when I post about it on Facebook and tell people they should watch. Why does the baby have a cord in its mouth? Because it needs to be charged, presumably. I mean, how else do you charge a baby? I'm literally asking. I don't know. And next we have Coffee and waffles. I like that you just accept it. Coffee and waffles. They were at $35 last week. They are at $35 this week. There, no movement. 22 days to go. Oh man. Oh, we both said no on that one anyway. All right, it's time for the new ones. Yeah. These are going to be exciting. So I picked some. I have one really cool one, and I have a couple less cool ones. One's like particularly dumb, but we'll start with Amber, the Alexa-enabled salt lamp. So if you're a fan of salt lamps, and you've just been kicking yourself by having to do things with your hands instead of just being able to talk out loud and have a lamp talk to you back, your prayers have been answered. Oh my. How's the audio with that video playing? It's very loud in my head. Yeah, we're probably okay. So this guy is basically just buying salt lamps like you find in the middle of malls and those little kiosks, which I don't really get. I don't think those are made out of real salt. Like, I'm pretty sure that those are just plastic. They just, are meant to look like salt. Anyways, this guy is like a woodworker. Oh, you can't hear it at all? Oh, it's because I turned it all the way down. Because I was worried about it. I will say this is actually a pretty funny video. So what they've done is they've taken one of these things, they've created a new baseboard, crammed an Alexa from Amazon in there. So now you can ask your lamp things like, what's the weather like outside? Or, how do I charge a baby? Things like that. So this guy isn't asking for a lot of money. 2,500 American dollars is what he's asking for, and they've currently got $208. So I don't know if this is this video intentionally is as funny as I think it is, just with the Righteous Brothers, and then this, now they're slowly inserting a second chord into it. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to be like a joke, like a sex joke or not, but I'm going to take it as though it is because it's funny to me. But yeah, it's literally just a salt lamp with an Alexa in it, and they just don't like how they look, and they love salt lamps, so they figured, hey, why not cram them together? Let's take a salt lamp. I don't know why people like these things. Let's take a salt lamp and build a new base for it, put an Alexa in it. Yeah. So let's see what the rewards are on this. $10 gets you a gracious thank you and a personalized letter from the Woodworks team. $100. Well, I guess I'll use Canadian since we're in Canada. 125 Canadian dollars is your early bird Amber special. It'll go anywhere in the world. There's a limit of 25 of those. And then $163 gets you the same thing, but just more expensively. You get the salt lamp, a bulb, and an AC adapter. I'm confused. Is this not actually... Weird. Okay. Sorry, the wording down on this pledge down here doesn't... Oh, I'm just blind. Never mind. It does say it's Alexa enabled. I'm an idiot. I can't read today. Anywho, I think this is tacky, and I don't really like virtual assistants anyway, so I don't like this. That being said, I do think this is the kind of thing that should be on Kickstarter. This isn't the worst thing I've seen. They have a product. They know how to do it. It is, well, you know what? I'm going to take it back because I feel like they have this done. Like they've clearly built one. There's a bunch of pictures of it. It glows when it speaks. I guess that's cool if you're into that sort of thing. Yeah, I don't like Alexa or salt lamps either. It doesn't look like they're prototyping. Like this just looks like a storefront thing now. No challenges. They have the tools, the wood, and the team. Does it come with an Alexa device inside? Yes, that's nice. So at least you get it. Are you allowed to resell an Alexa? Yes. So that's good. They aren't breaking any laws. Yeah. So I'm changing my story about should this be on Kickstarter? No. You have a product, open an Etsy store. That's what I think. Jeremy, should it? Should it not be? I'm also going to say for the will it or won't it, I'm going to say yes. I think this will get funded because as much as Jeremy and I don't like Alexa or salt lamps, there are lots of people that do. So I could see people wanting to buy this. You hate it all, so no and no? That's fair. Anybody else? I realize I'm addressing Jeremy directly, but if any of you have any input on this, would you buy this? Watchers, listeners, viewers? I don't know who all is watching. Pam? Oh, looks like my mom might be. Okay. You have faith in humanity and say it won't get... I don't know, man. These things sell like... well, I presume they sell like hotcakes. They're always in kiosks in the middle of malls. How much, Pam? Early bird special is 125 Canadian dollars. I don't know how much an Alexa costs just by itself. I can look that up, though. They are... is this the app? Oh, that's the app. I don't care about the app. Da, da, da. Just tell me how much it costs. Devices. There we go. Oh, deals maybe. All I want is a price, Amazon. I don't want... So I can find prices for Alexa-enabled light bulbs, in case you wanted to know about that. I sure don't. I'm just trying to figure out what the markup is on this thing. Amazon is probably using... Ooh, there we go. An Echo Dot, maybe? Oh my god, this is terrible. There's a website called alexaincanada.ca. Don't go there if you want to know things like, how do I buy an Alexa? I guess Amazon would probably be the smarter place for me to look. Let's try that. Maybe if I was less dense. An Echo Dot, which looks like the kind of thing that's going to fit in there, is yours for $70. Direct from Amazon. That's Canadian. And then a salt lamp costs, what, $30 or something? You can just hide it. Yeah, if you have a phone, you already have Siri. Well, if you have an Apple, you already have Siri. Jeremy, what do you have on your Android device? Who do you talk to? Do you talk to Alexa on your phone? Oh, I just got what you were saying, Fab. Yeah, I should have just asked Siri how much an Alexa costs. That's a good. If I had Siri enabled, I would absolutely ask her, but I don't use it, so no can do. Okay, next Kickstarter. This is a great one that I think Pam will really appreciate this. So let's play this. This is a stupid video. Admittedly. So this is RSVP Skinnies.
Hi, I'm here with my wife Annie, who's the inventor of Skinnies.
They'll explain it to you.
Chef and a great cook, but also a great drink maker. Annie.
So real quick here, he introduced her as a master chef and a great cook. I feel like if you're being introduced as a master chef, you are by default a great cook.
Skinnies came out great. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Skinnies and why are they 0 calories?
Well, let me start by saying that when I used to go out and want to have a cocktail, I always used Crystal Light because I wanted to keep my calories down. But Crystal Light always had the issue of aspartame, which gave it an aftertaste. So I decided that I wanted to come up with something that was, all natural, 0 calorie, better marriage with the alcohol. And that's how I came up with the idea for Skinnies.
Very good. So that's great. Why don't you show us how to make Skinnies?
Okay. So he just said, why don't you show us how to make Skinnies, right? So a Skinny, the Skinny, as far as I can tell, is the powder in that package. Now I could play the rest of this video, and maybe I will and just mute it. But this is a 4-minute video. We're a minute in, and they're about to show us how to start making Skinnies. Let's see.
Okay, well, let's start with the cranberry twist, and you will use your vodka, soda, and one of your Skinnies packet for the cranberry. And I'll let you do the work.
Very good, thank you. Okay, so first we do. Let me put it here. We serve a shot of vodka.
So this turns into. They make like 2 or 3 drinks.
Now,
it's literally a shot of liquor, some club soda, and a Skinny, and some Kool-Aid mix.
Add a little bit more soda to make it less sweet. It all depends on the drinker.
Now we add our.
And she's given us great advice where if you think it's too sweet, just water it down some more.
Like that.
Well, thank God there's a master chef here to clear that up for us, huh?
We add our cranberry twist. You do me the honors of shaking. That is pretty good.
If you can't tell, I just really hate this video. I'm going to be nitpicky. He said shake it, she stirred it.
So it's basically the same as the vodka and soda. We're going to start this time with a tequila.
Basically the same as a vodka and soda.
One for me.
And one for me.
And one for Annie. We top it off with club soda.
Oh, the variety.
Nice and light.
Yeah, I use Mio. You can actually get, in addition to Mio, you can actually get Kool-Aid flavors. Like official Kool-Aid ones that you squirt in the same way as Mio does.
Which is 0 calories.
Personally, I like vodka and soda just fine by itself. You got that squeeze of lime. That's a perfectly acceptable drink. That's a great drink. But there are already options available. I get she doesn't like the aspartame aftertaste. She says they use a all-natural plant-based ingredient, so I'm guessing this is stevia. They might actually say further down the page. As you know, I never read ahead. Well, I have watched the video before.
I have it with me, and I don't have to worry about all these mixers that have loaded sugars, and I have this with me all the time. Well, we are planning to come out with the new Skinny Mule, and it's going to have a light ginger taste, and it's going to be incredibly refreshing, and I think you guys are going to love it. And
what's Otis? Oh. Vodka, I think.
Vodka soda with a Skinny Mule. Sounds great.
I think it is.
Thank you for keep our
Well, no, I shouldn't say it's 0 calories. It's no carb. No carbs in it.
Cheers.
Or, sorry, minimal carbs, I should say. But yeah, you're probably right. There's probably carbs, or not carbs, calories in vodka. So, before I want to get Jeremy's opinion on this first. Do you think this should be on Kickstarter, Jeremy? Or anybody can answer. Again, I can still see. I just need Jeremy's answer for the spreadsheet more than anything. Sort of. Why do you think it should be? You can use hand signals or something if you don't want to type out a big long thing. I don't, but I sort of have a cheaty reason for thinking that. Because if you remember when we did the Kickstarter for that one thing where it wound up being on Indiegogo, right? So finished product, then no, that's the way I feel about it too. It is a finished product. Obviously, they have packaging and everything. Also, you can buy it on Amazon, and they have a website you can go to and buy it there. To be fair, you do get a better deal on here than you do on Amazon. So a 4-pack on Amazon is $20. And here it is 15 American dollars, which I think I'm looking at a price in oh, geez. Hold on. I'm on Amazon.com. I don't know what. I'm assuming that's American? Ugh. I don't know what denomination this is in. Well, if this is $20 American, then it's a better price to buy it here on Kickstarter. Except it only ships to the United States. So it doesn't really matter. If you do want it, you can get it on Amazon, and it does. Oh, I take it back. It does not ship to Canada on Amazon either, so you can't even buy it in Canada. So that has to be American dollars, I'm guessing. So $20. So this is a better deal here for 4 boxes. So they've got 4 of flavor, 4 of that flavor, 4 of that flavor, and then a variety pack. Oh, sorry, the 4-pack variety pack and the 8-pack variety pack. Yeah. So basically, this is just kind of a little sale they have going on, only on Kickstarter. And they're trying to get $50,000. So at $15 a pop, what is that? The internet will tell me. So at $15 a pop, they need 3,334 funders, individual funders. Assuming they all only pay $15. You're going to say it won't get funded, so you're saying yes and no. Yes, it should, and no, it won't. That's a good question. I bet you, Pam, I guess I should sort of read some of these questions out, just in case someone's watching this after the fact. Pam's wondering if they were allowed to say Crystal Light on their video. I don't know. I don't think they can. Because generally in advertising, you have to be a little more subtle about it. Especially if you're saying that this tastes better. Well, I don't know, because they had that Pepsi challenge, and I'm pretty sure they always talked about how it tasted better than Coca-Cola, but they could have just said a leading competitor. So I don't really know, but I feel like that they can't. That's actually a really good question. Sorry, I shouldn't sound surprised that you asked a good question, Pam. That's not fair to you. So you're saying yes and no, and I said the opposite. I said this shouldn't be on here, but I'm saying it will get funded. Although that 50 grand is making me question it. I think it will get funded because if people are looking for RSVP skinnies and they Google it, it will likely. Actually, you know what? I just Googled it, and the Kickstarter didn't show up right away. If I go to their website, does it mention the Kickstarter? Oh, it doesn't. Oh, it doesn't. If I click on their order now. Ooh. Oh, man. I may have shot myself in the foot here. Okay, I'm still going to say yes just because it's a better deal than buying it from their website or from Amazon. So if people want this stuff and they somehow manage to find it on Kickstarter, then they'll buy it. Yeah, otherwise I don't know. But yeah, I don't think this should be on here. This is a finished product. They already have a storefront. It's already on Amazon. They don't need to be kickstarting this. But, you know, they're already at $60, so they sold 4 of their packs. And, okay, real quick, I got to go back to the last one because I forgot to record some information. These guys were at 208, which I did not put anywhere. 208. Okay, and now for the last one. I only did 3 this week, but this is a good one. This is my favorite of all of them. If I can find my... Oh, man. Real issues today. Here we go. This is the Safety Professional. And it's Canadian, it appears. Let's watch the video.
Safety is a lovely multifunctional AI-powered gadget designed to make its owner's life more convenient, safer, and more efficient. To the emission of stimulating lights and active oxygen. Safety Professional provides assistance at meetings and presentations.
Welcome, Doris, to give a pitch.
Most notably, it registers
That's the dumbest thing.
contributions by individual participants through AI and drafts minutes simultaneously.
Applaud to Sophie.
Kickstarter, thank you for your support. Let's safety your future.
Well, it comes in different colors. That's cool. So, it is a portable thingy that it's got a camera in it, so it can watch you and watch the people around you. Yeah, it is a weird thing, right, Pam? So basically, it's just like a little device that you put there, and it can watch you. And I guess if it sees you falling asleep, it can flash a light at you to wake you up. It can somehow, I guess there's oxygen inside of it, which makes no sense to me. This is like just a weird thing. And then in meetings, and I'll be honest with you, I've been in a lot of meetings. If someone showed up at my office and pulled one of these things out and introduced them, I wouldn't want to do business with that person. And I'm in the tech industry, and I'd be like, this guy is crazy. So I guess it's using AI and some sort of image tracking software, in order to record, at least in professional mode, record who's talking and what they're talking about. It can identify the different players in the room. It does take minutes automatically, according to this. So, as people are talking, it's... I thought there was a little image of it. We'll go through. They have a lot of crazy images. Oh, man. They have a lot of crazy images in this thing. But yeah, apparently, as you're talking, it does take minutes. And then if you have it set up in a certain way, it will send the minutes out per your instruction. Now, there's a couple of things here. So in the video, it shows where? Here. So, well, right before this, I guess. It's got an app, which is great. Oh, come on. Okay, so this is sort of where they're showing like the meetings taking, the minutes taking. There's also a screen, a shot. Oh, that was it. That was it. That was right there. Oh, no. Like, why does Doris think that a robot voice introducing her is a good idea? So here's sort of the issue as I see it. So it's identified Yunchi and John and Robin and Doris. Now, how do you set this up? If you're in a meeting with people, that you don't know. Like, and in this situation, like, why are you bringing a tiny robot to introduce you at a meeting where people know you? Like, these can't just be coworkers, right? So you're going to have to walk in and set things up and be like, hey, this is my little note-taking robot that's going to watch us in this meeting and record everything we say and do, and then email the minutes to us. But I need to, like, take your picture and put your name in here. And, like, how good is the facial recognition software in this? Like, how long is it going to take to set that sort of thing up? Like, you look at a device like a Kinect or, like, the PlayStation Eye, like, the Kinect was terrible to set up. You had to stand still, and it would have to scan you. Like, I get that we've sort of gotten a little bit better in the terms of technology, but I mean, there's still going to be a setup process here where Robin's going to have to like look at it and get his picture taken, and like, is there removable memory so I can like switch things out to, or I guess maybe you can just take pictures with your phone because it does have an app. I suppose that works too. Then you need to sync it with every safety, which is a terrible name, by the way, because everyone's going to want to say safety. And if you Google safety professional, and I did this, you just get a bunch of results for safety professional. It just thinks you spelled it wrong. So I think they were a little too clever with the naming of this particular product. So you can share audio-visual information with people. It's HDMI compatible. I guess you can record stuff. Those are cameras, so presumably you can record stuff like you would with a camera, and then hook it up to a monitor, or maybe you're streaming it from your phone to the thing, and then it's on HDMI. In which case, why bother making it HDMI if you're streaming it from a phone? Some of it just doesn't make any sense. A lot of real cool things you can do. If you have a convertible, you can stick it on the dash. I guess any car doesn't have to be a convertible. You can just stick it on the dash, and it can watch you drive, I guess. I don't really know why it's there. This one's in the fridge, telling you if your crabs are moving. I guess. Here's some dimensions. It's release dates. This is a cool little pouch for it. A guy with a long nose. This might be from Adventure Time, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't actually think it is. Here she is just petting it in a meeting. Like, it seems like more of a distraction than anything at this point. This one likes playing guitars. And this one likes fidget spinners and playing guitars. Might be worth it if you actually get guitars with it. So let's take a look at what you get. What's it going to cost you? Now, let's actually look at what they're asking for. They're asking for 130,000 Canadian dollars. They're at 1,010 Canadian dollars. So 130 bucks gets you one safety. So if they sell 1,000 of those, they get $130,000. See, they did some math there when they were pricing things out. So good for them. There's only 999 of them at that price available. So, so then someone's going to get screwed and have to spend $180 for this to get funded. Which is apparently also a deal. It's 28% off instead of 48% off. If you want 5 of them, if you're like, one of these is great, but 5 would be better. Maybe you want to spread them out. Pam, you could probably find 4 people to give them to and keep one for yourself. $650. $1,600 gets you 10 of them. Why? Why wouldn't I do this twice? That's only $1,300. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, before what I said, they put some thought into the pricing. They stopped right after the first level. Sorry, I'm pausing here because I feel like my math must be wrong. But it ain't. All right. Let's say you want 50 of them. That's $7,500. So how's that work out for the math? So if I do 10 of them, 1,300 times 5, that's 1,500, right? Or 7,500. 5,000 plus. No, I think that's even worse. Oh my god. Yeah, I know how to do math. Sorry. Yeah, that would be, this is still a better deal. You get 10 of these, it's $6,500. But they, just do this once for $7,500. And then 100 pieces are 13,000, which same as that, which is the same as this. So yeah, that works. Okay, so their whole pricing scheme is just completely bonkers to me, except for 100 pieces, 5 pieces, and 1 piece at the early bird special price. Like, this isn't an early bird special. This 5 for $650. There's no limit on that. There's only a limit on the 130 for 1. They have 7 backers right now, and 26 days to go. So what did I say? 10-10. Whoops. Is that right? I feel like that's not right. 130 times. Well, someone gave them an extra $100. Oh, pledges without rewards. So someone just pledged $100. They couldn't be bothered to spring the extra 30 to actually get a device. So, in terms of, should this be on Kickstarter, I say, yeah, this should be. This is, a prototyped project. I hope. The app's not completed yet, so it's not quite done yet. They're still working on it. Hopefully they need some of this money to finish their, well, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, where did Jeremy go? So what are their risks? This is their first Kickstarter. We will try our utmost to safety your ideas, life, and future. I don't like their copywriter. Like, this sentence doesn't even make sense. Therefore, our team members cherish the opportunities to bring our safety to the world. That therefore doesn't make any sense. Anywho. Almost perfect prototypes. Yeah, I'm fine with this being on Kickstarter. I like it being here. In terms of, do I think it will be funded? I think it might be. If this catches on, people like techie garbage like this. I think it's mainly pretty dumb. I should just put answers in for Jeremy since he ditched. I don't know. Bam, would you buy this for $130? Would you buy 10 of them? I don't want to play all their videos. Wait, are these guys not Canadian? I thought they were. Oh, they're from Taiwan. That's weird. Why are they asking for stuff in Canadian dollars? Like, there's no currency converter thing here. Weird. Weird. Anywho, yeah, so I have it as, yeah, it should be on there, and I think, yes, it will get funded. And that's it. That's the Kickstarter crystal ball for this week, everybody. Nope, wrong one. All right. So that's been the show. If you are watching this live on Facebook, thank you for watching live on Facebook. You know to watch Facebook.com/Bourbon and Zeppelins every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Of course, you can check us out. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/BNZ show. We are not a Russian propaganda bot. We are just a Bourbon and Zeppelins propaganda bot. If you want to follow us on Instagram, we have a handful of pictures there. You can join the other 97 people from the Middle East. Instagram.com/Bourbon and Zeppelins. If you're watching this on YouTube, which might be a miracle because I actually haven't uploaded anything to YouTube in 3 weeks. Sorry, Jeremy. I've been super lazy with it. And guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to record this episode, so I'm going to have to download it off of Facebook and then upload it to YouTube because I'm real smart like that. I have to do that with 2 episodes now. I'm way behind. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Please subscribe. We are 88 subscribers away from being able to get a custom URL. Though, not that it matters. YouTube's really sort of cracked down on a whole bunch of other stuff where they want to have something like a thousand subscribers and 10,000 hours of view time on your videos per month in order to be monetized. Not that we're monetizing this anyway. I'm just saying they've really made the rules a lot stricter than they used to be. But yeah, if you are watching on YouTube, you're watching it at a low quality version because I downloaded this off of Facebook in standard def and uploaded it to YouTube. So you should come to facebook.com /Bourbon and Zeppelins every Wednesday, 8 o'clock Mountain. Join the party. We'll try to interact with you as I try to interact with everybody who comments on this. Normally there's more people here. So if you don't like just watching me talk to myself, it's not normally like this. Normally there's 2 of us talking to each other about the same sort of stuff. At any rate, until next week, I've been David, and on behalf of myself and Jeremy, who's not here this evening, thank you, and swing for the middle.